Hey, GameSpot viewers, I'm Kevin Van Ord, and I'm joined by the amazing Peter Brown.
Thank you.
And Peter Brown, you saw a game that I'm envious that you saw, partially because I didn't get to see it, and that's why I'm envious. What is the game?
Killzone Shadowfall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, a series I love!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I will say the demo was pretty small and pretty succinct.
Aw.
But I'll set it up for you. So
Okay.
you're behind Hellgas lines, and there's these like two cities that are divided by a big wall. And you are sort of a soldier that has the ability to sort of do all the deniable ops that no one else can do, that no one wants to take credit for. And so you're back there, and you're sort of infiltrating things, trying to turn off alarms, get rid of people, get a dropship down, and get some of your crew out of
Right.
there that are being held hostage. You start off at the top of this cliff, and you kind of work your way down, and from there you have a few different objectives to complete. There are two optional ones, well, two secondary objectives and one main one, but you have the two secondary ones can be done in any order. The demo itself, unfortunately, didn't provide a lot of variety. Like, I descended the mountain, I touched the computer, went back up the mountain, and went back down to do something else. A little bit of firefighting in the middle, but there was some interesting stuff there.
Okay.
You have this thing called an owl, which is sort of a little remote robot. And he gives you powers, but you can also send him out to use those same powers off in the distance. That could be anything from providing a shield, zip line, working as an attack drone, and or use him to hack computers and stuff like that.
So he's kind of like a utility belt.
He is, yeah. That was probably the most interesting part of the demo, because unfortunately the rest of it really didn't show off, I think, what the rest of the game will be like. But that was pretty good. I will say, for a PlayStation 4 game, even though I was really close to the monitor in this space, it looked good, but there was a lot of aliasing issues.
Right.
A lot of jaggies going on.
And that's something we would expect to be leaving behind at this stage, right?
Yeah, I would really hope
Yeah.
so. I would really hope so. And again, I was maybe a foot from the screen, but anyway, it's still a great looking game.
But the atmosphere seemed very Killzone. I mean, obviously we've seen it before. It's certainly a lot less reddish, brownish, orange that we saw when we were on Hellgas, because we're not on Helgen, I should say, anymore.
Correct. Yeah, it was not so much like that. I mean, this was an outdoor environment. I was in the forest, descending a mountain.
Right.
It was very different in a lot of ways.
Right. Well, that's something to look forward to, at least. It sounds like some environmental variety and some color.
A little bit of color.
A little bit of color.
From what I saw.
Okay.
From what I saw. But it's still very much a first-person shooter and doesn't really evolve in many ways. The owl is kind of the biggest aspect of it that's different.
One more question before we break, but I guess what was the feel of the movement? Killzone's been it sort of had a heavy feel where there was like oomph to the way you moved and the way you jumped and so on.
There is a little bit of that, and especially when you're using the cliff as sort of like, you're platforming up and down it.
Right.
You can press X to sort of climb up things and jump over it, but I got to this point where you have to run and jump over a cliff, and I was pretty sure I ran and jumped at the right time, but, fell down the cliff.
Down you go. Well, Peter, thanks for telling us about Killzone Shadowfall. I'm still excited.
Yeah,
I'm not going to let you dampen my spirits, Peter Brown.
I just want to say it was a really small portion of the game, and the demo was kind of limited. But yeah, the owl thing itself, that's a sign of things to come. You should still feel positive about it if you're a Killzone fan.
Good. Well, that's good news, at least. Peter, thanks for stopping by. If you have questions, obviously you go to Twitter, use hashtag GameSpotE3. We want to talk to you. And obviously, stay tuned to the show, because we'll have lots of check-ins just like this. So thanks, Peter, and thanks to you for watching. We'll see you soon.